Hi everyone, welcome to your yoga practice today. We're going to be practicing together for 30 minutes. Find your space on your mat. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you feel good. Make sure you listen to your body and you breathe. Let's begin our practice. We're going to start in mountain pose with feet underneath knees, underneath hips. Let's give ourselves a couple of shoulder rolls, perhaps getting any tension out of our necks, and aim the fingertips down towards the mat, aiming crown of head up towards the ceiling, and we're going to find our breath. Inhaling and exhaling through our nose, perhaps slowing it down a little bit from wherever we came to before our practice today. Perhaps softening it a little bit would feel good, and finding the pace that feels good for us, the breath that helps our intention in practice today to listen to our bodies and feel good as we move. Let's take one more breath together. And from here, we're going to open legs a little bit wider, feet pointed out, heels pointed in. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, bringing elbows in towards ribs. Inhaling as we rise, exhaling as we lower. Remembering that I'm moving, talking, breathing, so your speed of movement might be a little bit different than mine. That's okay. You follow the perfect pace of your own breath as we do our moonflowers. Reaching, inhaling up, exhaling, sinking down. Let's do 2 more of our moonflowers. And then a little bit of a change. We're going to add a hip hinge and sweep the arms forward into sunflowers. Again, inhaling as we rise, exhaling as we lower. Warming up all of our joints today, so ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, elbows, wrists, everything feeling good, soft, and strong as we go through our practice. Let's do 2 more of the sunflowers. One last one. And the next time around, I will meet you at the front of your mat. Hands will be at heart center, and we're going to find that mountain pose once again, lengthening through the body, finding our feet, perhaps lifting the toes up a little bit, feeling those muscles in our legs strengthen up, and finding our mountain. So we feel just as strong in the lower body as we do in the upper body, just as strong in the front as we do in the back, and just as strong on the left as we do on the right. Your next inhale reaches the arms up. As we exhale, let's bring the hands through heart center and to our sides. Inhaling as we rise, exhaling as we lower. Again, as we warm up the body, we're going to start to feel tempted to move a little bit deeper. So next time around, let's sink the hips behind us, bringing the weights towards the heels. Inhaling as we rise, exhaling as we lower. We call this our chair pose. It's going to come back a few times today. You're going to learn to love your chair as much as I do, hopefully, as we sink into our legs. Keeping the weight behind us, we're protecting our knees, and keeping the hands at heart center for now, we're making sure our backs stay nice and safe. Let's do 1 more of these. And on the next exhale, let's bend knees lots and lots and lots and lots, and come into our first forward fold for today. So your hands might end up on thighs, perhaps they're on shins, on feet, on mat, wherever it makes the most sense. We're looking for length of spine. And while we're here, let's give our heads a little bit of a shake, no, but then of course finish with a nod, yes, to our practice today. On your next inhale, we're going to slide the hands up the shins and find length of spine. So beautifully contracting through the abdominals, opening through chest, we come into monkey pose, thinking about long backs and strong bodies. Your next exhale brings you back down to that forward fold, and let's flow through those 2. Inhaling to monkey pose, exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling, sliding up the shins, finding a long back. Exhaling down. Let's do it 1 more time. And the next time we're going to press through the legs, come all the way up, reverse the swan dive, and then find our chair. Hands can be at heart center, perhaps extended, whatever feels best for you. Inhaling as we rise. Exhaling, coming to forward fold. Inhaling, monkey. Exhaling, forward fold. Pressing through legs all the way up as we inhale, and then exhale to chair. Let's keep doing that. So this is the top half of what we call our sun salutations, and we're starting to find a little bit more flow and enjoying the flow of movement and breath. So every breath has a movement, every movement has its own breath. Hopefully you're starting to feel good. Noticing this is like a little bit of a lower back massage, which I'm sure we all enjoy from time to time. Next time that our hands come to the mat, we're gonna hold there, everyone. And then on your next inhale, let's step the right leg back. Exhaling, stepping left leg back. Inhaling from all fours. Exhaling, sinking our weight back, and we're gonna reach the arms forward. So we've got an active child's pose, which means our forearms are off the mat and our abdominals are a little bit engaged. Next inhale brings us to kneeling plank, and from here, we're gonna contract the abdominals as if we're pulling knees to hands and hands to knees. Next exhale comes to child's, and let's flow those two. Inhaling to kneeling plank, exhaling back to child's. Inhaling, rise. Exhaling to child's. Starting to feel how smooth our hips are moving through this movement. Knees, shins, and feet are beautifully grounded on the mat, and I'm paying attention to the strength of my arms as I flow through. Let's do it one more time. Next time I come forward, I'm gonna tuck my toes under, use the beautiful strength of my legs to press my way up to my first downward facing dog for today. And maybe it feels good back there to pedal the heels, softening through knees, really lifting through, aiming for length of spine in the pose. Your next inhale, let's reach the right leg up. As we exhale, we're gonna step the right leg through and make sure that the feet comes under, so the heel is right under that front knee. Strengthening through abdominals, I'm gonna rise and find my lunge. So in my lunge, perhaps I've got hands at heart center, perhaps the arms are extended, perhaps the arms are at goal posts. Let's flow the arms a bit though. Inhaling up, exhaling towards the leg. Inhaling up, exhaling towards the back leg. And I'm flowing through a little bit, waking up my balance muscles. We'll notice our inner thighs have to work a little bit more to help keep us balanced. Next time around, the hands will come to mat, stepping back to our downward facing dog. And let's use our curiosity to try the other side. Inhaling right leg, exhaling comes through, sinking through the legs. And as we inhale, we rise. And again, we find that lunge. So I'm giving myself a chance here to sink into lunge and to notice how my thighs are feeling in the pose. Let's inhale as we rise, and then exhale, flow through the arms. Feeling lovely and long through to our fingertips as we go through the pose. Next time around, the hands will come down, and I will step forward into my forward fold. Inhaling as we rise. Hands will come through heart center and to our sides. Let's stay in mountain pose for a breath or two. We're gonna go through our sun salutations now. So we're gonna take the top half and mix it in with the bottom half. This is the part of our practice that flows a bit more quickly. So we're preparing ourselves for one movement, one flow, one breath as we do our sun salutations. Your next inhale reaches the arms up, softening through the knees, finding forward fold. Inhaling as we rise. Exhaling to forward fold. Inhaling, stepping right leg back. Exhaling, left leg back to our downward dog. Inhaling, right leg comes up. Exhaling, right leg comes through. Strongly inhaling as we come up to lunge. Exhaling, flowing through the arms. Inhaling up. Exhaling, flowing down. One more time we reach, and then we're gonna step forward into our forward fold. Using those gorgeous legs, we rise, and let's come to chair. Left leg, inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthening through spine. Exhale, fold. Stepping back left, stepping back right. Next inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, takes that foot forward. Inhaling to my strong lunge, finding balance, flowing through. Sometimes balance is there, sometimes we need to find it. Inhaling as we lift up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, reaching everything up. And then exhaling to chair. One more time each side. Rise. And forward fold. Monkey. And fold. Step right leg back. Step left leg back. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step through. Rise into lunge. Flowing through knee. Inhale up and flow through. Rise and forward fold. All the way up and chair. Last one, here we go. Inhaling, rise. Exhaling, fold. Sliding to monkey and fold. Right leg back, other leg back. Let's lift the leg up towards the ceiling, stepping it through, finding my lunge, lifting as I find my balance, and flow. And I rise, whoops, and flow. One more time as we lift. Come to forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And here's our last chair. So we're actually gonna stay in our last chair, everybody. So now that you know where we're going with that, I'll come and face you. We're sinking into chair on this one, starting to transition to more leg work. Hands can be at heart center, perhaps goal post, perhaps extended, but we're gonna sink a little bit deeper and see if we can kind of split the mat in two between our legs and getting those glutes engaged in the movement. They tend to be a bit sleepy back there, so we'd really wanna involve them and make sure we're working through that. How about we try something a little bit different for balance? We're gonna lift a little bit up onto the toes and then sinking into balanced chair, adjusting the arms to wherever we need it to be. How about 2 more breaths? 1 more breath. Beautiful. Inhale, rise. And hands will come through heart center and to our sides. You can shake out those legs a little bit. We're gonna start to work through now our beautiful standing poses. When you feel ready, let's take the right leg, take a big, beautiful step back, and start to sink into what is warrior 2. So my back foot matches about the short edge of the mat, and my front foot kind of matches the long edge of the mat. And we can give ourselves some time, because this is a hip opening pose, to start to find our warrior 2. Let's aim the front knee to the center of the foot. Sometimes it comes in towards the big toe. We're gonna open it up and then engage that beautiful quadricep in the back. And I'd love for you to inhale the arms up. Exhale, palms up towards the ceiling, so we've got similar posture towards our goals. A little bit of a connection behind the shoulder blades that matches the connection behind our glutes. I'm gonna quiet my voice so you can take 2 more breaths. More. Beautiful. Keeping the same legs. Back arm gently comes to the back leg. We're going to inhale, reach the arm up, and if we happen to come up in the legs a little bit, we can sink down on the exhale. Maybe glance forward, seeing that front knee still where it needs to be, and then sinking into our reverse warrior. Perhaps we look forward, perhaps we look ahead, perhaps we look up. Wherever your neck is happiest, that's totally up to you. 1 more breath here. You've got this. Beautiful. Let's inhale, open up the arm. Exhale, find a little bit of balance between the front leg and back leg, softening both knees. We're going to take the back hip and press it back a little bit further. Let's bring the hands behind us, and I'll leave it up to you to choose fingertips, maybe palms, maybe wrists, or maybe forearms are held together. So wherever you feel the most comfortable, the idea being that we open our chest and we find our triangle with a little bit extra challenge for our core and oblique muscles. Rather than sinking into the pose, we're lifted up, aiming for shoulder on top of shoulder, both knees micro bend, so a little bit soft. And again, head wherever it makes you happiest. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Beautiful. Next inhale, let's reach the arms forward and aim everything forward as if we're back in our lunge again. Exhaling, hands will come to what's called airplane pose for the arms. So the palms are down, and then very gently starting to step the back foot forward, starting to find what will be our warrior three. Now you can be playing a little bit of piano with the back toe. Maybe that's your balance today. Perhaps the leg is lifted. On your next inhale, stepping down or not, let's bring the knee forward. On your next exhale, stepping down or not, let's bring the leg back. And so we're flowing, everyone, from inhaling knee to exhaling back. Can we do one more? Next time around, we're gonna step the leg, bring it all forward. The toes are a tiny bit narrower than the heels, lifting up through chest. Hands come right to the hips. And on an exhale, we start to sink down into our standing split. Today, perhaps our hands end up on thighs, on shins, on feet, on floor. We want to find beautiful length and exhale, into this pose. Making sure that the weight of the body is halfway through the foot rather than just sinking back onto heels. On your next inhale, let's bring hands to thighs and then rise back to center. We're gonna try all of this on the other side. Being curious and mindful that perhaps the other side will feel the same, perhaps it'll be completely different. We're very beautiful, but we're not perfectly symmetrical, so we're gonna give ourselves a chance to see how it feels on this side. Let's sink the front leg into warrior two. Inhale as we reach the arms up, and exhale, palms up. We remember we want to connect the glutes behind us, lifting a little bit through that back quad, and then connecting the shoulder blades behind us too. So we're looking towards a posture that takes us away from this and brings us closer to this. 2 more beautiful breaths. Nice. Inhaling, back arm comes down. Exhaling, we rise into a warrior two. Most of us will lift a little bit in reverse warrior, but we want to keep those warrior two legs. So let's sink back down. Again, lifting up through chest, choosing how close the pelvis comes to the floor, completely up to you, and looking wherever it makes more sense for us and our necks today. Shoulders are beautifully relaxed. Next inhale, we will reach the arm up. As we exhale, we start to find evenness of the weight in the front and back leg, perhaps a little bit closer if that feels good. And we're gonna start to move that pelvis front and back until we feel the back side being able to press behind us. Now let's reach those fingertips back. Here's my tip. Wherever you went the first time, switch it up, because we'll always go to the most comfortable one first. So chances are, if it feels funny, it means you haven't done it on this side. Fingertips, palms, or forearms, you remember? Lifting through chest, starting to sink into my triangle with a soft knee bend on both the front and back leg. Now for me, keeping my head lifted right here today, not as comfortable. I'd rather look down. So perhaps that makes sense for you. Perhaps you'd rather look up because it helps you open the back shoulder. Whatever feels best. 2 more breaths, working through core, long spine. On your next inhale, let's open up the arms, face forward, exhale, find our lunge. And again, we're gonna connect with those balance muscles a little bit, foot a bit closer, hands in airplane pose, starting to think about lifting that back foot and finding whatever version floats for us today. Your next inhale will bring the knee forward, tapping down or not at center. Exhale, pressing back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, pressing back. Inhale, 1 more time in the knee. Exhale, pressing back, and then stepping back, preparing ourselves again for standing split. We've got beautiful long necks here. Back is nice and long, fingertips right in the fold or the crease of those hips, so that on your next exhale, you find your forward fold. folding into standing split, and again, choosing where the arms will land. Nice long spine, using our exhales to help us sink into the pose. And again, paying attention to where the weight is. Sometimes it sits back on the heels. We want to bring it to the center of the foot. Let's take one more breath here. Next, inhale, hands come to thighs. Exhale, we rise. Let's inhale, step back to the front of our mat. Exhale, find our mountain pose. Feel a little bit of that strength. Feel a little bit of gratitude for the workout that we did today. Our beautiful practice as we start to head down to the mat and get a little bit bendy, find a little bit more space in our bodies. Your next inhale reaches the arms up. Softening through knees, we're going to come to forward fold, and again, choosing where our hands land. Regardless of where our hands will be today, we're going to start by finding a little bit of space through the back of the neck. So again, maybe a nod and a shake would feel good. And then keeping the hips exactly where they are. Let's walk the hands over to the left foot. Now your right hip's going to want to come with you. We're going to press it behind us and start to find some space in the lower back, behind the glute, and our side body. Really enjoying a bit of a lower back release here. Your next inhale takes you back to center. Your next exhale takes you to the other side. Again, making sure that left hip stays behind. It's going to want to sneak forward and go with. We're going to give it a little bit more space back there. Inhaling to center, exhaling right here. Let's inhale, step right leg back. Exhale, step left leg back, and then start to bring the knees a little bit wider, the big toes together, and making our way towards our child's pose. So we'd love the forehead to rest on something. Perhaps for today, it'll be stacked fists, maybe stacked hands, maybe your forehead actually reaches the mat today. Every day is different. So you choose to see whatever makes the most sense. And I invite you to, what I like to call, wiggle the child behind you a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of space back there and then sink into your child's. Let's use some lovely exhales to start to shift our energy from the work we did today to something that's a little bit more restorative, a little bit softer. Next inhale, we reach everything together. Let's bring the knees together, and as we exhale, we're going to make our way to butterfly. So we're sitting on our mat with feet at least a foot away from ourselves. And we're going to aim the bottoms of the feet together and thinking about moving ourselves onto our sit bones, finding length through our spine. So we're going to stay really tall in our butterfly today so that we finish our practice with as best posture as we can. Shoulders are relaxing. And let's invite the outer thighs to gradually bring the knees in the direction of the mat. That'll help us release if we're activating the opposing muscle that we're stretching. If we haven't done so already, let's soften our breath even more. How about the next exhale, we add 2 seconds to it. And then match our inhale to that. Beautiful. We're going to find a little bit of space in our hips. Let's lean towards one side so that the back leg has room to find a 90-degree angle. The front one, for some reason, tends to always want to tuck in. Let's make sure we've got that right angle towards the front as well as the back knee. We're going to inhale towards the front knee, and as we exhale, start to drape ourselves over the thigh. So we're aiming sternum towards the knee. Perhaps we stay on hands. Maybe we end up on forearms, or maybe we're completely onto the mat. wherever it makes sense for you. And we've got a bit of a 2-for-1 stretch on this one. So the glute of the front leg is getting a nice opening, as well as the inner thigh and the hip of the back leg. And it's an and or. Some days we feel one more, some days the other one we feel it more. We're just enjoying a really safe knee version of pigeon pose. How about 2 more breaths, focusing on those slow exhales. That felt good. 1 more. Your next inhale brings the hands a bit closer. As we exhale, we lift and we find our butterfly, enjoying half of what we needed to do in terms of those pigeons. So one leg probably feels a little bit different than the other. Let's again be curious and open to what's in store for the other side. So this leg stays where it is. That one comes back, and we find those beautiful 90-degree angles. So the toes are a little bit pulled towards the knee, and I'm giving a little bit of a check to make sure I've got space in order to inhale and then sink towards the thigh. And perhaps in this one, we're more lifted. Perhaps on this side, we're a little bit more sunk into the mat. We're being observant and kind to our bodies as we keep shifting towards a softer breath of recovery, of compassion, maybe a little bit of gratitude because we're almost at the end of our practice today. Your next inhale brings the hands a little bit closer. Exhale, we rise up, and we're going to come down towards the floor. So what I'd love for you to do is keep one leg completely extended, bring the other leg right into the chest, and roll yourself down onto mat, and let's give ourselves a big, beautiful hug to the knees. As we hug the knees, let's massage the lower back onto the floor. We can go side to side. I like doing little U's or little C's, or little half moons or croissants. That's what feels good to you. As we massage the sacrum, so that backbone of our pelvis, onto the mat. We're going to bring the feet onto the mat and open them up just a little bit wider so you can feel the edges of your mat. Let's bring arms to our sides, palms up, and very slowly start to roll through as if you're a windshield wiper, but you're like on this super, super, super slowest version of windshield wiper. Finding a little bit of space in the front of the hip this time. And then let's begin to choose what our final position will be for today. Perhaps you want to stay exactly where you are, and it feels really good for your lower back to bring the knees together and to stay right here. Or perhaps you'd like to extend the legs into a more traditional version of Shavasana. We're going to take a couple more breaths, start to find length through the body. And as we exhale, we sink into every body part that's touching the mat, enjoying the final few moments of our practice. I invite you to stay right where you are, but I'm so pleased to have practiced with you today. And please remember that the light within me appreciates the light that is within you. Have a lovely day, and we'll see you next time. Namaste.